For neck pain, we're going to start as usual just with some gentle skin movement, so you can work all the way up into the back of the head, drawing light circles on the skin, focusing on anywhere that tends to be sore, any areas like that, and just take note, is there a difference from one side to the other? It's just something to be aware of, not necessarily anything to worry about. We can sweep down through these muscles here at the front. We can begin to move the skin lightly into the scalp, into the hairline. Should be like a pleasant massage you get at the hairdresser. And then we can work down into the jaw. The jaw can be often an area that's not considered. That can be quite relevant to all sorts of issues, but often neck pain. So work into the jaw, into these muscles here, just lightly, just see is there any major difference between the two sides, or are there any tender points. Again, any tender points, what we can do is we can just keep a monitoring hand on them, take a bit of slack out, and then we can go above that and pull the slack in the other direction, just essentially kind of stretching that skin on both ends with the tender point in the middle, and then holding that for about a minute, maybe 2 minutes, and then going back in and seeing, has it gotten a bit better? And again, that's reaffirming to yourself how much you can influence your pain, and the fact that it doesn't need necessarily that much, it doesn't need to be aggressive. It's just we're giving the nervous system a bit of a break, a bit of a chance to unwind and to relax. So once we've warmed everything up, we've gotten a nice bit of awareness, waking up the nerve endings all the way into the jaw, we're going to look at the mechanics of breathing in a bit more detail as they relate to the head and to the cranial bones. So basically at this point you should be comfortable with the breathing method: lips sealed, tongue to the roof of the mouth, jaw relaxed, throat open. Now what we're going to do is we're really going to focus on the tongue as it presses into the roof of the mouth. What we want is to kind of, as we inhale, really push the tongue into the roof of the mouth, as if you're trying to spread the palate open. This is going to have a very slight mechanical effect on the bone of the nose, which is then going to affect the sphenoid bone and then all of the cranial bones. You don't need to know these details, but this is essentially what we're doing. So first I want you to settle into your breathing, whatever position is comfortable, either seated, standing, lying down, and then I want you to begin to press the tongue firmly into the palate as you inhale, and then as you exhale you can let go of that tension. And I want you to notice the difference in your ability to breathe through the nose when you press the tongue to the roof of the mouth. What you should find is that you get more oxygen in through your nose when you apply that pressure, because what it's mechanically doing is it's creating a bit more space by essentially pushing the nose very, very slightly up, creating a bit more of an opening, like when you get those nose strips that open up your nose. They feel great. So I want you to try to notice that. If you can't notice it, that's fine, don't worry about it, just work on it. And now what we're going to do is we're going to begin to get the head moving in sync with the breathing to really accentuate the effect of the tongue. And so this relates back to our COGS concept that we would have gone through if you looked at the exercises for back pain. And basically we have to think of the pelvis, ribs and head sort of like mechanical cogs. So as the belly expands, this is the pelvis, these are the ribs. The belly expands here, this creates this kind of mechanical effect where the ribs extend and the pelvis flexes forward. So they have this mechanical, like this opposition between the two structures. And this actually influences the head as well. So what we find, again, if this is the head, these are the ribs, as the ribs extend back on an inhale, I'm really accentuating this, so it's never really this much, but as they extend back, what we're going to see is that the head tilts forward. So the chin tucks as we inhale. So we want to begin to, once we settle into pressing the tongue up on an inhale, we want to couple that with a nod as we inhale, And then as we exhale, we're just opening the throat, closing here. It shouldn't be painful again, as usual. And then inhale, giving yourself a nice double chin. And then exhale. So what this is doing is it's getting the head moving with the ribs, and in turn it's influencing the pelvis as well. It's influencing the entire spinal cord, getting a nice, very gentle kind of flossing effect. But it's also mobilizing all of these joints right up at the base of the skull, which tend to be where a lot of the tension is held. So again, what you can do is when you're starting, you're doing your little mobility, you're moving the skin, monitoring for any tension, any tender points. Just notice them, and then let's do the breathing. Let's integrate the tongue to the roof of the mouth. Really feel that the nose opening up and getting more oxygen with each breath. Now let's incorporate the nodding. Inhale, nod, exhale, just open the throat and tilt back. We'll do that a minute, 2 minutes, and then let's go back in. Let's really try and find those tender points. Are they a bit better? Are they the same? It's okay if they're the same. It could take a lot of time, and maybe it needs something different. But again, you might have that moment where you go back and it feels that bit better, and in general you feel better. You feel like you've got more ease in the neck, more range of motion, more pain-free range of motion. So again, this is confirming to you that there's nothing necessarily physically damaged. There is more likely a nervous tension there, like a protective tension that the brain has created for whatever reason, based on past experiences and maybe a lack of use. And as we ease into that, as we begin to build confidence and get things moving a bit, suddenly that drops because now there's no need for it. And again, these are important experiences to really confirm to yourself how much control you have and how little it can take to really change pain. So I'll see you in the next video, and we'll get the neck moving in more detail.